But the Arizona Diamondbacks have been a little bit of a disappointment so far this season. I almost feel like a liar when it comes to you guys. I told you guys there's a team coming down the pipeline that remind you of the 2021 Phoenix Suns. They're homegrown. They went and got a big player in Corbin Burns, splash signing. Zach Gallen, who's been decent over the past couple weeks, over the last couple of starts, but still they have some issues. And the Diamondbacks at this point have become fun to watch to hard to watch really quickly. They lose in the most disastrous ways. Yesterday, I'm watching them against the Mets, and they have a chance to go up in this game, and Eugenio Suarez is rounding third, and the ball is nearly in Lindor's hands, who plays shortstop. It's these boneheaded decisions with no outs where you're sending Eugenio Suarez home. They might have had one out. I can't remember exactly. But either way, this is not exactly a fast guy. You're sending someone home. And this team is starting to have real issues where you potentially bring someone else up to bat. Alek Thomas just hit for a double. He gets called out at home. It wasn't close. Eugenio Suarez. And you continue to tell yourself, man, these are the horrific ways the Arizona Diamondbacks continue to lose. You can't continue to do this. And please don't tell me it's early. Because we said that last year, and the Diamondbacks missed the playoffs. These are the games that matter. And games against opponents who have a winning record, the Diamondbacks have not been great against. I know that off the top of my head, so I'm going to go ahead and look it up, even though I probably should have had that, but I guess I can't pull that up at this moment. But either way, the Diamondbacks aren't even teams over 500, the Diamondbacks are 11-11. They're 10 or I guess everything else would be the case against teams under 500. But over 500, they're a 500 team. That's what the Diamondbacks are. They can't beat good teams. They're 19-18. They're 2.5 games out of a wild card. They're 6 games back already of the Dodgers in May. Like, I know that there's this idea that it's early, but you're not catching the Dodgers. You're already not. You're fighting for a wild card berth. Please don't tell me that it's early. And I have been pretty defensive about Torey Lovullo because I think a lot of what the Diamondbacks do is centered around what Mike Hazen wants to do. He's been terrible recently. Managing the bullpen has been bad. And yesterday, Torey got a little snippy with reporters and snippy with fans. It seems like Torey has been reading the headlines a little bit. Yesterday, let me paint a picture for you. There's guys on first and second. I can't remember who the players are. I believe one of them is Pavin. No, one of them is Jose Herrera, and I think the other one is Corbin Carroll. And the Diamondbacks go up there. Geraldo Perdomo, their RBI leader. So let me paint this picture for you a little bit better. Guys on second, there's a guy on second, there's a guy on first. Your RBI leader is up to bat. You have 0 outs. And Torey Lovullo has Geraldo Perdomo bunt. And Torey admitted this was him. This isn't my conspiracy that maybe Hazen is running the show. These are the kinds of things that can't happen. Compile it with sending Eugenio Suarez from second all the way to home on a double where Francisco Lindor already has the ball ready to gun him out. These are the horrific ways the Arizona Diamondbacks continue to lose. Torey Lovullo spoke on this yesterday, and I didn't like his answer. Here you go.
It's kind of that gray area, and my projection was I wanted to get us to a lead, protect Merrill with our positive role relievers. This is a part of the game that the common fan may not understand. I have one of 2 choices. Look, there's 2 roads for me to choose. If we're ahead, I choose option A, and that's where I feel like we're going to go out and win a baseball game. Option B are the negative role relievers where there's a chance we can get banged around a little bit. So I want to protect Merrill with a lead, and the reason why I have to choose option A and option B in certain situations is if I choose option A, I don't have them ready for tomorrow. So I was going to sell out on one side of it. So it was my call, 100%. We talked about it. We use bunting as a weapon. Truth be told, 2-0, I was going to take it off and let him hit, but it never got there. We got to be better in a couple situations. Got to bunt strikes. You hit strikes, you bunt strikes. Exact same thing. So maybe let the pitcher throw a couple more balls. He might get himself in a different situation.
Yeah, we use bunting as a weapon. That's how Torey Lovullo felt like that was the right response to yesterday's debacle of a loss against the Mets. All these blunders are when the game is 0-0. The Diamondbacks have a chance to go up on this team 2-0, 3-0, and then it's a completely different ball game. Guys get tight. You have Corbin Carroll who's going to gun for a home run later in the game. Torey's response is, we use bunting as a weapon. You use bunting as a weapon when Jose Herrera and Garrett Hampson is up to the plate. You don't do it with your RBI leader. The New York Yankees don't have Aaron Judge bunt. The Philadelphia Phillies don't have Bryce Harper bunt. The problem with the Diamondbacks is they play every single game like they're up 8-0. They play defensive. They don't play to win. They think because they have a collection of talent now that is going to carry them past the finish line. And what's going to happen is you are going to be one of the biggest jokes in baseball if you don't get your head out of your asses. Torey Lovullo doesn't seem like an aggressive guy to me, and I've largely defended him. But this defensive baseball nonsense is starting to drive me crazy. These are games that you have to win, but instead you're losing games at home. You are a competent baseball team. This team is star-studded. And I'm sorry, one game over 500 is not going to cut it. It's just not. At this point, I don't even think they're that. Diamondbacks, yeah. One game over 500 is not going to cut it. 19-18 through the season. I was trying to make sure I wasn't confused there. This National League is better than it was last year. You cannot do this again. Do not back into the playoffs. Be aggressive. The Yankees don't bunt Judge. The Phillies don't bunt Harper. The Cubs aren't bunting whoever it is that they're rolling out there. Or Cole Tucker, whoever it is. This defensive baseball crap is what makes your team unwatchable. And recently, instead of being the tight-knit, the Diamondbacks have completely lost who they are. They used to be a team that prided themselves on no mistakes. Zero. But up until recently, now they're a team that only has mistakes. Sorry about that. Didn't have my thing off, but they used to be a team that didn't need to be that pride themselves on no mistakes, and now they're a team that only has mistakes. My guy Aaron in the chat, who I really like, good dude, but this is an overreaction. It's a long season. All you need to know is baseball is just get into the playoffs. Who cares how you get in there? Aaron, they're 2.5 games out of the playoffs right now. The National League is better than it was last year. I would agree with this take last year until they backed into the playoffs, until they tried to back into the playoffs last year. These games matter. You can't tell me that they don't matter. 2 years ago, the Diamondbacks backed into the playoffs. Sure, they made it to the World Series, but then they tried to replicate what they did the next year, and they missed it. This is a collection. You don't have the same collection of talent next year. Your starting five on paper is not better next year than it will be this year. That's my betting chances on it. I agree with you. It's a little bit of an overreaction, a little bit. But it's not that massive of an overreaction because of what I saw last season. And what we can't have is a duplication of what we had last season. The Diamondbacks got to get their heads out of their ass already. Because this is a team that was steaming to start the season, and now you got guys slumping. Randall Grichuk, Eugenio Suarez, it's either a home run or he's striking out or hitting into a double play. Alec Thomas has been good. Jake McCarthy sent back down. It's too much of this. There needs to be way more of a steady income of wins. I'm not asking you to win the division, but I am asking you to be a firm wild card team all year because it does matter. And that's how I feel.